Hi, this is Sandy. Welcome back to Enchanted Pines Sewing. Today, we're going to talk about Block of the Month, particularly the Amish with a Twist 2 Block of the Month from Pink Door Fabrics. And for me, even though I've been sewing and quilting a long time, this is my very first time doing a Block of the Month. And what actually convinced me to do it was the pattern itself. Look at that. It's so pretty. I remember seeing it on Tula Pink's channel, her version of it, which these are all Tula True Colors fabrics. And the price is reasonable because most of the fabric is solid color. It's a 12-month program. So it's only a little bit each month, both in terms of cost and in terms of how much work you're doing. So I figured I would try it. Why not? So I first started the block of the month in June, which is when the program started shipping. And every month comes with what's called a cutting assistant. And the first one had the actual color cover of the quilt on there. It also came with the actual original pattern, which is this one. Aside from the colors, the main difference is this one also has borders, which I guess you could add if you really wanted. No, I doubt I would be interested in adding borders to it. But this is helpful with if you need how-to information for some of the blocks. So that's a part of why you get it. Some of the other things you get with this, you get a sheet of stickers to help you identify all of the fabric. And the other thing, which I thought was really cool, because there's a lot of solid colors that are very close to each other in this block of the month. They sent, it was like paint chips, but it's perfect for helping you match up the color. So most of the fabric cuts are I'd say about somewhere between a quarter and a third of a yard. And what I've done is I've been collecting them as this project goes on and collecting them into a scrapbook case, which I managed to just kind of snap the lid on funky. And on each one of these, I've also made it a point to write the color. So this is from month 4. This green is called Matcha. And the pen that I use to write on it is a friction pen. So it is heat erasable, but I write it on the selvage. So I don't really need to have it there. I have, though, accidentally found myself accidentally heating off the name when I didn't mean to. So I just try to be careful about that. So right now in my box, I have all of my extra fabric, and you do have to save the extra fabric from month to month, which I would do anyway because hoarding. And aside from writing the fabric number, which also helps with organization, and the name on the fabric, and what I did with the little stickers is I put the little stickers on quilt clips. So I have a whole bunch of these here as well. Those are ones not currently being used. And one of the reasons I rolled the fabric like little burritos, because it's almost like when you're packing a suitcase and you roll things up because you don't want it to get wrinkled. They're staying much nicer this way. And I roll it so I can see the name of the fabric, which also helps. So I keep all those things together. Now, at the moment, we just received month 4. So I'm going to show you the first few months worth of this. And it's really fun. Like I said, every month you get these little, like, how does it all go together kind of things. They show you how to cut up your fabric. They show you if you're using from the month before, like the dark spaces or things that already would have been cut out, which is great. So I have got all kinds of blocks. So far, this is one of my favorites. I love the colors on the log cabin, although I think it's going to go kind of like that. Obviously, I have not started putting them together. One thing I did do, because they all finish out as 10-inch blocks, there's another log cabin. And then this one with the flying geese was kind of fun. Okay. Yeah, log cabins. I really like the log cabin blocks in this. Okay. Here's another log cabin. Pretty colors. They have you start off with kind of the warm pinks, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. This month, which I'll show you in just a minute, moves into the greens. So there's another block. There are 5 blocks that have a feature print, and it's for the pattern, it's from the birds. Some people online, I noticed, have been debating, oh, do I want to use the bird? Do I want to use something else? And yeah, you obviously could use something else. I went back and forth on that. Ended up just deciding I was going to do it exactly the way it is, do the birds. So here's another one. Really proud of myself getting in the habit of pressing it fairly well. There's not too many. There's a few that went a little wonky, but you know what? Nobody's going to be looking inside the quilt. Okay, so we've got another log cabin. And I love how vibrant the colors are. You can kind of visualize where some of these are on that basic pattern there because you have all these light colors in the middle. This is another one of these 25 block squares. This one, I think it was a neat block. I think this one's called Cups and Saucers. I'm not sure. I'm not a big name all the quilt blocks type, but I do like log cabins, and there's a lot of them in here. And then there's this one too. So those are all of the blocks I've made for the first 3 months, which is the first quarter of the quilt. So right now I am getting ready to do month 4. So every month it comes in a baggie like this inside the mailer, and they will have all the fabric together, and then they have your cutting assistant for the month. So right now I have cut and I've labeled it, and I made sure to mark every time I cut these because it's a lot of different little cuts, a lot of repeats of the same thing. So I mark everything off as I go. So my next 5 blocks, almost dropped that one, are all right here. And you can see there's a lot of greens in this month. So there were only a few colors that had been in last month, which carried over to this one. Even so, I'm still maintaining my same organization. I do have all of my little stickers here, like this one, you can see the number 50. And if you kind of turn around, you can see the color on this one is called Flare. There's my matcha. I have a lot of that in this one. And so doing that helps me keep it really organized. And I got off to kind of a slow start, but what I noticed was helpful was doing all the blocks for that month at once. Okay, no, you cannot eat this. Why my cat wants to eat part of my headphones, I don't know. But I think she's teething. But she's still a kitten. So anyway, those are the things that have come with the block of the month. And so far, I would have to say I'm enjoying the experience. It's different. I tend to be a cut everything for a project, do it all at once, try to plow through it as fast as I can so I can move on to something else. I try not to have a ton of UFOs, but this is a little different. And I think with this one, because there are so many different colors and different fabrics, like there's 71 different fabrics. And I say that just based on the labels. And you can see how many I've used and how many I still have not used. So I think that would be a lot at one time. And this feels very manageable. I'm not usually a big quilt kind of girl. I like to make smaller quilts because they're easier to actually do the quilting on. This one is so big, I'm going to have to take it to be long-armed because I think I'd lose my mind trying to do it on my domestic machine. No, Anna, you cannot play with that. Come here, baby. Oh. Here we have Anna. Anna wants to play with the block of the month. Yes, she does. But basically, I think this makes a big project break down into something manageable. I think it's a great idea if you want to try something new. I like the fact that there's an online community on Facebook that I can see, how everyone else's progress is going, or if anyone else, gets stuck on something. It makes you feel like, okay, I have some accountability from a community. I can do this. So that part of it I really like. Am I going to sign up for more blocks of the month? I don't know. I don't see myself doing this fairly often, but like I said, I was drawn to this one. I'm not usually also a solid color kind of quilter, but there's so many colors in this. I just really love it. And I thought, okay, I want to make this. So this is an interesting experience. So what I do now is I have everything set up and I have all of my pieces for this month ready to sew, all my little clip together pieces. And I have my cutting assistant, which is also my pattern assistant. And the nice thing is, like this month, there are 3 log cabin blocks. One of the blocks that is mainly 2.5 squares, and then a little star in the corner, and then another one called shoe fly, which they do give some modified instructions to, because apparently it's slightly different directions than what's in the book, but it looks pretty easy. And I can kind of sit there and do all of these in one evening and then even move on to some other projects. So it makes a nice short commitment of time, and then it feels like kind of energizing to get back into it later when you haven't been messing with this huge project for a long time. So overall, I would say if you've never tried a block of the month and you're thinking about it, and there's one that just really speaks to you, that really appeals to you, give it a try. I'm very impressed with Pink Door. Obviously it's my first one, so I've never used another company's block of the month, but I'm sure any well-experienced quilt company that is doing a block of the month is going to be very organized about it. I have not worried about not having enough fabric. They definitely give you enough that if there's a oops, you should be okay. And even in the absolute worst case scenario, you really screwed something up, you can know which fabric is which, and you could get what you needed to if you needed to. So that is my experience so far with block of the month, and I will definitely update you on my progress later. I'm thinking at this point I might want to take all of those blocks that I currently have done. I've actually been keeping them in this project bag, which I made from that Ruby Star stash, if you saw my first 2 videos. And right now it's starting to feel like I got a lot of blocks for that. So maybe I should go ahead and start piecing some of these together. One thing I do, because all the blocks are 10 inches, I have my 10.5 inch ruler. So I have been squaring the blocks up as I go. So it will be very easy to go ahead and start putting together like one corner of the quilt and, putting it away safely for until I get to the next part. All right, so I'm going to work on that. I also have some upcoming projects in Tulip Pink's Deja Vu new Deja Vu line, which was the Prince Charming. It's all like kind of brown and pink and mint green. It's very pretty, and I have a couple of projects cut and ready to sew, so I will be sharing those pretty soon as well. And if you are new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in. If you've already hit subscribe, awesome. You're one of my very first. And I hope to invite more people along for my sewing journey. So hit that like button, subscribe, notifications. Let me know in the comments what your experience has been with block of the month. If you're currently working on Amish with a Twist too, I know there's a lot of us out there doing that one. It was pretty popular. So how's it going? All right, and I will see you on my next video. This has been Sandy from Enchanted Pied Sewing. Bye.
So after I finished filming this video, I ended up going ahead and sewing up the 5 green blocks of the month for month 4 for Amish with a Twist. And I decided to go ahead and put together sections of the quilt that I already have, well, the quilt top, obviously, that I already have done. So What I'm showing you here is kind of about, well, now about a third of the quilt, technically. And just it's like the top right corner down through about midway through the side. And you kind of work the quilt top clockwise, if you can just kind of picture that. But I was excited to see what it looked like so far, and I have it now rolled up and stashed. It'll be another month before I get my next part of it. So it's kind of fun to see this much progress on it so far, and I just thought I would share that as a little tag on here near the end of the video.